Hello and welcome to the Bourbon Bear, and the Chicago Bears against all odds sit at number one in the NFC at a 9-3 record with a healthy tiebreaker over the Rams when it comes to conference records. So, Bondo, how are we feeling about the Bears today?
Well, at the beginning of the year, I said 8.5, and all you guys were laughing at me.
I said 10.
Well, I think
I'm looking pretty good.
I think we're looking good at 10. I think they got a tough sled. Green Bay twice. 49ers are playing better. I think Cleveland, they better win that game, and Detroit. And Detroit, if Detroit loses tonight,
that'd be massive.
That'd be massive.
Oh boy.
I think they'll start collapsing.
That might be the end of Detroit at that point. But I want to hop in just quickly recapping the Eagles game. So you had a dominant Bears run game, but I mean, that's all you can call it. You had Monungai and Swift go for over 100 yards. First time, I think, since 84.
No, it was the last time was Peyton and Suey, and I believe
86.
It was 87.
87.
It was
86, 87.
Yeah, it was 86, 87.
So,
and,
I mean, to command the room, though, I mean, Ben Johnson, he's got this run game going. You got Tooney playing unbelievable, Drew Dahlman. I think Tooney and Dahlman might be all pros, which is going to be awesome.
Well, I think they both deserve it. You look at the situation, their confidence level is high. We all knew Ben Johnson was going to be a good coach, but they was going to take a little bit to get him going. Direct opposite. I mean, the way he's handling the locker room after games, the players are starting to – he's a player's coach, but he doesn't look like – he's very stern on the sidelines. He's very focused on the sidelines.
Well, I'll say that, but then he takes his shirt off in the locker room and gets the boys going. I mean, that was like – that's what you want to see in your head coach.
Oh, yeah, I 100%. I mean, Belichick never did anything like that.
But, and he got Chicago all free hot dogs. It just kind of gets the morale up about this team. Like, they actually do believe in themselves. They believe in Ben Johnson, what he's building. One downside, though, to we were talking about earlier, Caleb didn't have a great game, in my opinion. He did hit some clutch throws. He did miss some open throws. He does deliver when it matters, though. That touchdown to Cole to ice the game was absolutely fantastic. But he's sitting at a sub-57 completion percentage right now. And I know Ben expressed it at the post-game conference that it's something that they have to work on. And, there's all the raw talent in Caleb, but he just hasn't put, outside of the Dallas game, I would say, he hasn't put together a true, this is like the number one quarterback in the league type performance. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, you're 100% right. But he is efficient when he has to be, okay? You can't rattle off all those wins in a row. I mean, people say, the schedule and what have you. To win a game in an NFL is always going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Carolina beating up on Green Bay a couple of weeks ago, and they would have, we would have never guessed that. Look at the Bears beating up on Dallas.
Speaking of Carolina briefly, they beat the Rams to get us in the 1 seed.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy. That's wild.
But, everybody's talking about how Williams isn't, the quarterback we think he is. But I know Johnson believes in him, and I think he's getting better all the time. Other than
I agree.
He's not making the mistakes. He's not throwing interceptions. He didn't do that last year, but he's not taking the sacks.
His scrambling ability's been out of this world to get out of those sacks that should have been sacks. It's been fantastic. That I'll give him all the credit in the world. But do you think coming against Micah Parsons on the Green Bay edge, I hope we do establish the run game early. Going to be a cold game in Lambeau.
Yeah. But
do you think he's got to use his legs more just to solidify a win versus sacrifice, I guess, to be the true pocket passer?
Well. It's hard, and Johnson wants him to be a pocket passer,
I agree.
And it's a tough. He's learning the game. I mean, I could see it in his focus. The first two games I know were tough, and we should have won Minnesota for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit really kicked our butts, but I see confidence in him. I see him taking the leadership role. He's only his second year, and when he throws some of those balls, though, he throws those balls. He can zip them in, and they're not lob passes.
Oh, he can whip it. Mm-hmm.
He can whip it, and Monungai and Swift. I hear Swift is questionable again.
He's always, he's the kind of guy like that vet. They'll always have him questionable, but he'll probably. I'm assuming he's going to play. I'm not worried about that.
I mean, that 1-2 punch is something we haven't had in in years. I mean, with the running backs.
You got like the Benson and Thomas Jones, and that was like the last one I can remember.
Well, that was.
You could say Cohen and who's the other running back? I guess in 2018.
The Super Bowl year?
No. 2018 we made the playoffs. It's gonna drive me crazy. But anyways, it's still nice to have that 1-2 punch.
Well, and everybody's saying when we drafted a tight end. But Johnson loves the tight ends.
Yeah,
that's
why Cole was that open on that play.
And he wasn't the number one receiver on that play.
No, he wasn't.
He was, and
safety valve.
Safety valve, and he ran down, and they. It seems like defensives, because Cole's blocking a lot, and he's done a wonderful job on it. It seems like defenses forget about him.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And it's kind of nice to be lost in the weeds, though.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good for him. It's like, have that one explosive play. Why not?
I mean, it was fun. That was just, and I'm happy for him. Not because he's a Viter guy, and
guys.
We've drank with him before a few times.
Well, and the Packers also being down a defensive lineman out for the year. Blanking on the name, but I mean that's a huge
the big
cause
guy,
to run up the middle. Though, if you're missing your starting nose tackle, that's a key indicator. I think we're going to see a lot of run, which I'm fine with.
Well, we're good with that. Of course we are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at all the great football coaches, it always started with the offensive line and the defensive line. Allen, I think Allen, that guy is worth every penny we pay him.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are out. He's got guys hurt all the time.
He's had back-to-back games missing your starting linebackers, and he's still delivered wins. That's absolutely insane.
That's coaching.
Yeah, that's good coaching.
This guy, I got a feeling that if the Bears keep winning, he's going to be gone, which is not a...
I don't know, because he was already a head coach before.
Yeah, New Orleans.
So I think he'll stick around. I really do.
I hope he sticks around for another year, but, if he keeps that up, he's going to be, all these... the Italian guy in Kansas City, they don't, he coached the Giants for a while. But, these defensive coaches like our old coach, Vic Fangio, they're all old guys now. They don't want to be head coaches anymore. But I think
he's younger, but Allen's younger.
Allen's younger, but he had, 4 years at New Orleans? I mean, that's a long time.
No, he was like 2 at most.
2?
He was like quick in and out.
No, he wasn't. He was at least 2 because when what's-his-name left, the Denver coach,
Fox or him?
No, the Denver coach. He's coaching Denver now. He's a local Chicago guy. Denver's coach.
Peyton?
Peyton, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took over for Peyton.
Yeah, I think he only had
2 or 3 years
maybe
ago.
3 at the most, but... I'm fine with that. Don't get me wrong, but you got to give a special shout out though to the guy you actually just told me was the NFC defensive player of the month, when Deshaun Wright, though, who has been stepping up for a just completely banged up secondary. You couldn't ask for anything else. Bend don't break at its finest right there.
Well, we're wearing the Urlacher jersey today. A defensive guy. He was the last NFC player of the month the Bears had on defense.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Is that actually true or not?
Yeah.
I feel like that's... Khalil Mack definitely had it week 1.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking for the month. He was the month. They have they do all these player of the week.
No, yeah.
And I'm sure we had a few of those, but player of the month is the last defensive player.
If that's the case.
I
believe you.
Urlacher was that like 7 years ago?
Urlacher was on the team till about 2010, 2011.
No.
Yeah, he was on there for a while.
No, I think it was up there till at least 12.
Maybe 12.
13.
Maybe, he was there a little bit.
No, it was 11, 12 years ago. But no, that's exciting. Wright playing great. We got T.J. Edwards coming back. I think that's going to make a difference. I think
Well, the one thing I want to touch on, though, is Jordan Love threw 4 touchdowns at Detroit against the Vikings. Obviously, Dome Stadium is a little easier. Lambeau's probably going to be cold and windy. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a lot of time burnt on the clock, ground and pound. Josh Jacobs, I'm assuming he's going to get the rock quite a bit. And that's where our front, which hasn't been significantly dominant, but they've been okay, that's where we need him to step up.
Well, a defensive line has played well.
They held Barkley, 54 yards, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very good.
Crazy,
very good.
Crazy. Crazy. That's another crazy. Especially with guys who aren't, when you're missing your 2 linebackers for the last 3 games. That's a huge. And actually, the game before that, they had all 3 of them out.
Yep.
Sewell's out. But that goes back to Allen. Allen's doing a wonderful job with his.
And to build off that, though, Tremaine Edmonds was like leading the league in picks. He was tied with Byard. And also, we got to talk about Byard because Byard,
he's had a hell of a
that
year.
guy, if he doesn't get all pro, I have no idea what to tell you about the voting system here. He has been the best ball hawk I've seen in a long time. He's diving at everything. He's getting these interceptions, leads the league. I think Deshaun Wright is tied for second in the league.
Yes.
And actually, Tremaine Edmonds, I think, now fell to third.
Because he hasn't been playing, though. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's top 3 of your guys are. And that turnover game means so much in the NFL when you have that limited amount of time in a game. Incredible what they've been doing. And Deshaun Wright's forced fumble. We can't even. Oh my God,
that's great.
God,
5 turnovers in the last
good.
2 games. I mean, it's nuts. You're right. Everything you hit every point that I think is important. I go back to the excitement we're having here with the team.
Well, I got one more thing I want to bring up. Then.
Yeah.
So you've got Micah Parsons. You have to deal with this week.
Yeah.
Darnell Wright, I think, can hold his own against him. Darnell Wright, I think, is also having an All-Pro right tackle year. Left tackle, though, if I'm Green Bay, I am sending Micah off the left side every time.
Well, who's going to play this week? Benedict is out, right?
Is he out?
Well, he didn't play last week.
I thought he was starting still.
No,
is it Ozzie Trapillo then?
It was Ozzie who started. I'm pretty sure he started last game because it was not Benedict.
Then it's probably Ozzie. But
Yeah.
I mean,
he might be back. He might be back. We're gonna have to check on that.
I was just
but
going to
it's
say,
still
in general,
it's very weak. It's
that's
very weak.
That's a you force that. You
very,
force that all day, no question.
I mean, you don't want to fool around.
So if you're Caleb, though, the one thing I'm going to emphasize right now, though, is you're going to have to run the ball more than you want to. And
him personally,
yes,
yeah.
I'm saying that just if you want to win the game. Like, I know you want the long-term him to be that pocket passer, but this is a week where Mike is going to be coming at you like a goddamn bullet. So you got to be ready to do that.
Okay, how did they say it's when he was on Dallas? What did they do? How did you beat Micah Parsons? You ran at him.
You run at him or you chip him.
Well, you chip him, yeah, of course. But they say he's so lateral movement is so good. But they say if you run at him, it's hard to do because you're afraid. But
well, I bring up the chip because Cole, to your point, has been blocking great this year. And if you have a good chip by Cole, and then let your left tackle figure it out from there, probably gonna be okay. Yeah. Not every play, don't get me wrong, but you can't leave him one-on-one on an island with your left tackle. That's all I'm saying.
And this is a point I wanted to bring up, but I'll bring it up now. Micah Parsons in cold games.
Is he bad?
No, he's not as good.
No, that's right.
But they said there was a I was listening to one of the other stations about and he's had a one of the questions they had going to Green Bay was the cold weather, and we'll see what happens. But it's going to be cold. I agree with you. One of my picks today is going to be the under 44.5.
It's funny you bring that up because they did lose to Carolina in Lambeau, and it was pretty cold.
It was cool. It wasn't.
Cold. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't.
It wasn't like this, but
it's still cold though. Not a dome.
It's cold. And I, again, he's a warm weather guy. Mm-hmm. You know that, and I think that plays into the Bears' positiveness. And
so I'll turn it over to the last thing before you get to your bets. The 3 keys to victory, though. What are the 3 things? I'll give you mine after, but the 3 things the Bears need to do to win this game.
Well, one, Caleb's got to be on his game. I absolutely. Green Bay's missing a couple of players, as of the Bears. With Odunze out, it's going to.
He's not out.
Well, we're questionable, but if he's out, that's.
You're going to get a lot of Luther Burden. I'm telling you that right now.
Well,
if he's out.
I'm Burden I like. The other guy, I'm not crazy about. It seemed like he dropped the ball.
Zacchaeus or who?
Zacchaeus,
yeah.
He's dropped a few balls. DJ Moore has picked up the slack last game. Mm-hmm. He did very well, I thought.
Well, the game before he had 2 touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the last 2 games, but he was he just got an award. He might have been last week NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
I don't know what you're getting.
He had 2 touchdowns,
mm-hmm.
but
he had the 2 touchdowns.
But that's positive. Dunze is having a great year, a second-year guy.
You know what's funny about Dunze though? He had a great first start, like first half of the year, let's call it. He has fallen off a little bit. I mean, last week he had 2 receptions for 8 yards. Week before, I think it was 3 receptions for 40 yards.
Well, they're putting their better defensive backs on him. Before
that's true. That's why DJ Moore probably got open. I
agree.
But again, if you're Roma Dunze, you were a top 10 wide receiver. You got to be catching some of these balls he's missing.
Well, he's only a second-year guy. I mean DJ Moore has been around, and he's was one of the top 10 receivers for years in the NFL. But that's my I think offensively we need him. With Caleb. Defensively, with T.J. Edwards back, and I think that's going to be the key. And we got to keep that running game going. I mean, the running game has got to be first and foremost. And I know those offensive linemen, when they're pretty sharp, astute guys. I mean, they're not. And when they talk, it's they love the run block. Pass block's great, but they love the run block, and I love hearing that from linemen.
So what I'm going to tell you my 3 keys, and I'll start with what you just mentioned. The number 1 is going to be run the ball efficiently, and that includes running against. I know I hate running up the middle, but if you have a backup in there, you got to at least establish that we can do it. Falls apart, we'll figure it out, but between running up the middle and against Wright and Micah, I'm fine with that because he's a pass rush specialist. He's not a great run stopper, let's be real. But number 2 is going to be Austin Booker has to do something. I think Sweat's had a decent year. Like, he doesn't have the sack numbers, but he's actually been playing pretty well when it comes about the run, about pressure, all that.
Well, it's like expectations were high on him.
I know. But Austin Booker / they might play Robinson, not Robinson. Dominic Robinson, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Any one of those guys that are like want to get their shot, it's Green Bay, get in the zone, go get the quarterback. That's where they're not predicting you're going to come from. So, let's make that happen. And number 3 is you have to win the turnover battle.
Yeah.
You have to. That's the one thing with this defense. They give up giant plays. It's the most frustrating thing, but that is the bend, don't break philosophy. They've been getting the turnovers, though, which normally, this never works, but they've been doing it. Minnesota, when we were at Minnesota, they got that pick in the end zone.
Yeah.
Your boy, Deshaun Wright.
Yeah.
Literally, if we didn't get that, we lose that game.
Yeah.
That's wild to think about.
Well, that was a big turnaround in the game, for sure.
You need to get those, or else you are done.
Well, that's how the Bears are winning. That's
they're leading the league in turnovers.
Yeah,
if that's going to be your bend, don't break, you have to still get the turnovers, though.
And it's hard to win any game in the NFL, and I mean it's exciting to have them. We're getting to that time of the year where it's we're talking playoffs, and
do you think the Chicago Bears will make the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think they're going to be. I think this game. Okay, if the Bears win and beat Green
if the Bears
Bay,
win, they're basically.
I understand, but.
If they lose,
I want them to
to
get a bye. I know that's the weirdest thing.
That's the weirdest thing.
They're going from top to lose. They go to 6.
Yes.
I mean, that is a huge drop.
That's a huge drop.
I should have brought that up. I thought of that.
I think that's the craziest thing. This has been the most top-heavy of the NFC North I've seen in a long time. Not NFC North, NFC in general.
Yeah.
This is if you lose this game, you drop to 6, and now you're fighting for a playoff spot, which is wild.
Crazy.
Wild.
Crazy when you win, 6 in a row, and 7 in a row.
7 in a row.
And we're excited. It's going to be a great game.
But before we go into bets, last spot, I know you got to go into the Christmas party, but so let's just do a hypothetical here really quick. So the Bears do lose this game. You sit at 9-4. You're still in a great spot, but you are in the heat of a playoff hunt that every other team is also 9-4.
Yeah.
The San Fran has a bye this week.
Yes.
The Panthers actually have a shot at making the playoffs right now, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Detroit, we'll see what they do tonight. Because basically, if Detroit or Dallas, whoever loses is out.
Is out.
100%
out.
So, I mean, that's kind of the nice reliability thing. But as a contingency plan, you have the Browns the following week. I think that's winnable. But the Browns' defense is good, though.
Great.
You can't give them any.
No, their defense is going to win games for them, and they're going to be low-scoring games. We're going to see how the weather is. But, it's too early to tell.
But then you got San Fran, who just went to Cleveland and destroyed the Browns.
Yeah.
I told you to pick up their defense. We did good. We did
Yeah, we did.
a little good.
Thank God. I won 7 in a row in my fantasy.
But I mean, then you have the Lions and the Packers again, though. That's a gauntlet right now. Like, the Bears have won the games they should have won. Outside the Vikings week 1, we should have won that. But everything else they delivered on.
Well, if the Bears can go 500 with Green Bay and Detroit, I think they can win the division. So they're already 0-1 against Detroit.
And I think you can lose in Lambeau if you win in Chicago. But you have to win in Chicago then. I just would not like it to be that much pressure.
Yeah, but what's LaFleur's record? It's what one. The last win in Lambeau was last year. The Bears won last year in Lambeau.
Oh yeah. Against Bears. Yeah,
so,
I thought you meant in general. I'm like, no.
No. But that's big because they lost 12 in a row up there or some crazy number.
Oh God, it was horrific.
Yeah. But if you can split with Green Bay and Detroit, so you got to beat Detroit, and you got to split with Green Bay, win Cleveland.
Cleveland, you got to win.
And San Fran. We'll see how the standings are, but if they, I think they'll win the division. And that's big.
I think so too, but the one thing I'll say, the Packers tie is going to make this all a mess because that's going to be weird. Ties make everything chaotic. But if you do split against Green Bay and you beat Detroit on week 18 now, God, there's 18 weeks. Yeah. So weird.
Crazy.
That, I think you win the division.
I agree. All right, we're going to go to my picks.
Bondo's bets time.
Well, first off, I know last week we didn't do anything because of the lack of Luke's part. But, the way I look at it, I'm like 25, 26, and 20. Not as good as last year, but my 8.5 wins over was the play of the year. And but I like Dallas tonight plus 3.5. I like Cleveland -4 against. They're playing somebody weak, but it's going to be like not the Jets, but it's going to be like a 10-3 game. I like Indy. I think Indy's going to play a little better. Buffalo is starting to play a little better, so I like Buffalo. I'm going with the Bears. You got to ride the hot horse, and I like the under a lot. 44.5. I'm shocked.
I like the under. Actually,
I'm shocked that it hasn't gone. It probably will. I like the Texans. I think Kansas City's done.
Really?
I do.
Wow.
I really do. And
they're hovering, but if they get in, that's the one thing everyone.
Well, everybody says it every week, and they lose. I mean, and then they lose to teams they should beat. And I like Philly. I know the Bears. I think Philly's got a wake-up call as Super Bowl champs. They're so you got my picks. I know it's 8 picks, but I'm waking up for last week, and good luck. And
go Bears.
Bear down. I'm gonna bear down.
Bears.
Salute. Bear down.
Support the Papa Nicholauses.
Oh yeah, we gotta go. We try to get tickets for this week's